This is the walkthrough for the VulnOSv2 VM. I did my initial nmap scan and I found that ports 2280 and 6667 were open. I thought the IRC 6667 was kind of interesting, so I actually did some research on that. I did find a remote buffer overflow vulnerability in regards to the IRC, the next generation IRC daemon. Unfortunately, I couldn't really find out what version of Engine IRC it was running. I did go ahead and download the source code, and I went ahead and ran that through GCC and ran it against the port. But unfortunately, the actual attack didn't work. So since that was a bust, I had to sort of go back to the basics. So I ran derb and tried to basically find any kind of hidden directories. I also ran the app through Burp Suite to try to find any kind of other clues. Also, I have an extension in Burp Suite where I look for old jQuery stuff, and I actually did find an old library, so I kind of spent some time down that rabbit hole. It didn't really lead me anywhere, so but possibly it's an exploit. I've actually got a question out to the writer of the VM, but I ended up going a different route anyway. This was the jQuery, some of the old jQuery libraries that were used that I mentioned. Now what's really cool is I saw that Drupal was on the box, so I immediately wanted to try the Drupalgeddon exploit through Metasploit. I've tried this attack before. I didn't have any success, unfortunately, so I kind of had to abandon that as well. Just wanted to kind of give you an idea of, it seemed like there were other ways to attack this machine, and maybe there are. Maybe my configuration just wouldn't allow for it, but then as I was getting stumped, I realized it actually seems like the way to solve this particular VM was more linear. So there's a link here you can click as you start poking around on the website. You can see that there's some different links here, so I just basically started clicking around. I noticed that there were parameters in this particular link. I did try SQL map against those, couldn't come up with anything. Then I clicked this documentation. Doesn't seem to be a page of much interest, but if you take a look at the source code, when you view the source, basically what you'll find is there's an interesting comment here about, for security reasons, this section is hidden. For detailed review of the documentation, go to this URL. So when you place that in the URL, it comes up with this login page, and it clearly identifies the name of this third-party software, OpenDocMan. Well, at this point, you probably should go ahead and look at ExploitDB for anything on OpenDocMan. What's quite helpful here is that there are a couple of exploits available. The first is a SQL injection. So basically, you're going to take the query string that they provide and give that, feed that to SQL map in order to start enumerating the databases, tables, and then of course the contents of those. So basically, when I ran SQL map, I enumerated these databases. Then I could see that there were these tables available in this particular database, and of those tables I actually first tried ODM admin, but there wasn't anything of interest, so then I tried ODM user. At that point, I was able to see the two accounts. Of course, we could log in as guest, but it didn't really give you any kind of leverage because you couldn't upload any kind of web shell. So really, we need the admin account. So you can just take this password and Google that, and it comes up with this as the actual password, webmin 1980. So from there we can just log in. And we'll have admin privileges. Now, there could have been a couple of different ways to go here. You could go to the admin page. You could actually change the file types that you could upload and set it so that, you know, we could go ahead and upload our web shell. But why bother? Let's just go ahead and see if we can use that account to log in through an SSH. And it actually works. So now all we need to do is escalate our privileges. I did do a cat of Etsy suitors, and this particular account doesn't have any kind of privileges, so we're gonna have to get privs a different way. One of the cool exploits I saw was an actual kernel exploitation. So if we take a look at the kernel that's running, we can see that it's 3.13, and so if you look on kernelexploits.com, you can actually find a binary that you can do a wget to actually run. So this is the information from kernelexploits.com, and basically that's what I did. I called wget to get it onto the server. And then I just chmoded it, and then I just ran it, and I got the root shell. So go ahead and show that to you quickly. Okay, so now at this point I have a root prompt. I can just cd to root, and waiting for me there is a lovely flag.txt, so I just cat that. And it says that I've successfully compromised the company JABC.